Along African rivers, calm waters often conceal a predator waiting patiently. The crocodile remains nearly motionless beneath the surface, silently watching until its target enters striking range. In a split second, it lunges, clamping down with powerful jaws and dragging its prey into a sudden, violent struggle. What is it that makes these crocodile ambushes so unpredictable? Crocodiles are semi-aquatic predators typically found in rivers, lakes, swamps, and wetlands. Their low-profile bodies, combined with eyes and nostrils, positioned high on the head, allow them to observe their surroundings while keeping the majority of their bodies submerged. This physical adaptation enables them to approach targets stealthily and maintain an optimal distance before striking. Leveraging this ability to remain concealed, crocodiles have developed a hunting strategy that relies heavily on patience and precise timing rather than prolonged pursuit. They monitor movements and adjust their positioning, then launch a short, rapid burst of speed once the prey comes within range. This hunting method conserves energy while maximizing their ambush capabilities in an aquatic environment. Across the vast savannas of East Africa, impalas rely on vigilance and rapid escape capabilities to survive. Upon sensing danger, they typically accelerate, change direction frequently, and utilize leaps spanning up to 30 feet under ideal conditions to put distance between themselves and the threat. However, when the herd descends to the river, these terrestrial advantages vanish, while a different danger lies in wait beneath the surface. The peril begins as the herd swims away from the bank. Underwater, crocodiles remain low, tracking the animal's movements before suddenly accelerating from multiple directions to close in. The impalas immediately break formation, thrashing the water and racing toward the shore, seemingly on the verge of escape. Yet the gap between them and the crocodiles continues to narrow relentlessly. Once the distance becomes too short for a reactive escape, the advantage shifts decisively to the crocodiles. While some impalas manage to reach the bank, those left behind become a substantial meal. This encounter demonstrates that the crocodile's strength lies in its patient ambush tactics, choosing the precise moment to strike when the impalas cannot fully utilize their speed and leaping ability. Across much of sub-Saharan Africa, African elephants inhabit savannas, grasslands, open woodlands, and semi-arid regions with access to water. Their strengths lie in their ability to detect danger, defend themselves, and protect members of the herd. When an elephant lowers its trunk to the water's edge, the silence is suddenly shattered by a threat approaching from beneath the surface. The danger strikes abruptly as a crocodile lunges and clamps its jaws onto the trunk. The elephant instantly jerks its head, steps back repeatedly, and shifts its body weight rearward, dragging the crocodile from its advantageous position. Other elephants quickly close in, shifting the momentum of the struggle and turning the pressure back against the attacker. As the pressure mounts, the crocodile loses its initial advantage. Forced to release the trunk, it retreats into the water, leaving the elephant standing firm with its herd. This encounter demonstrates how an elephant's massive size, physical strength, and fierce reaction can cause a crocodile's ambush to end in failure. On the African savanna, wild dogs rely on stamina, numbers, and coordination to maintain the upper hand while hunting. Weighing between 40 and 79 pounds and measuring 30 to 43 inches in length, they possess long legs that enable them to sustain prolonged chases. However, when one individual strayed from the pack, slowly approaching the water's edge to drink, a confrontation was silently brewing right before its eyes. The encounter began beneath the surface, where a crocodile held its body nearly motionless before inching closer. It waited for the precise moment the wild dog's attention wavered and launched a sudden strike. The pack immediately swarmed in, barking loudly and attempting to force the predator to release their companion. The wild dogs darted back and forth, closing in and then retreating, but the crocodile held its ground, dragging the struggle ever closer to deeper water. As they neared the deep water, the tide of the battle shifted decisively. The wild dogs continued to press the attack, but were ultimately forced to back off, unable to rescue their packmate. The crocodile triumphed through its ability to remain concealed, patiently biding its time before executing a lightning-fast ambush at close range. Across the savannas and open woodlands of sub-Saharan Africa, African buffaloes often congregate around reliable water sources. Their stocky, muscular builds, featuring powerful shoulders and chests, combined with the massive horns and thick boss found on mature males, equip them to put up a formidable defense. However, when a buffalo lowers its head close to the water's surface, subtle movements ahead signal an imminent clash. The moment the buffalo's attention wavers at the water's edge, the crocodile strikes. It slowly closes the distance before suddenly lunging, clamping its jaws onto the buffalo's muzzle and attempting to drag the animal into deep water. The buffalo instantly plants its feet, jerks its head violently, and pulls backward. Meanwhile, other members of the herd rapidly converge on the scene, shifting the momentum of the struggle. As the tide turns, the buffalo continues to pull back, twisting its head and holding its ground on the bank. The collective pressure from the herd forces the crocodile to release its grip and retreat into the water, leaving the buffalo safe. This confrontation illustrates how the buffalo's defensive strength and the crocodile's predatory drive are both natural forces that help maintain ecological balance in the wild. Across the vast savannas of East and Southern Africa, zebras frequently traverse the grasslands in search of forage and seasonal water sources. Standing roughly 4.8 to 5.2 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing between 770 and 990 pounds, equipped with long, muscular legs and hard hooves, they are built for endurance journeys. Yet, as the herd ventures into deep river waters, unusual movements beneath the surface signal an imminent clash. The confrontation begins as a group of crocodiles silently tracks the zebras moving away from the bank. Keeping their bodies low, they wait for a straggler to slow down before suddenly accelerating to close in from multiple directions. The zebra thrashes, pivots, and attempts to dash back to shore, but its window for escape rapidly narrows. As the gap vanishes, the struggle reaches its most intense moment. The zebra fights to break free and change direction, but the crocodiles hold their ground, dragging the encounter deeper into the water. As the prey's strength wanes, the crocodiles prevail, turning the remains into a vital source of energy for their continued survival. This transfer of energy concludes a battle where the advantage shifted according to the environment. While zebras possess superior stamina and physical power on land, crocodiles dominate the encounter once it moves into the water. It is their keen observation, precise timing, and ability to maintain pressure that allow them to successfully capitalize on the ambush. Across the open savannas and semi-arid plains of Africa, cheetahs rely on their vision and speed to manage distance. They can reach speeds of 60 to 70 miles per hour in short bursts and accelerate from 0 to nearly 45 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds. However, as a cheetah slowly approaches the water's edge to quench its thirst, that margin of safety begins to shrink. As the gap closes, the crocodile, lurking in the murky water, capitalizes on its ambush advantage. It keeps its body low, silently adjusting its position while waiting for the cheetah to lower its head to the water. Just as the distance becomes critical, the crocodile lunges suddenly. The cheetah recoils and attempts to accelerate, but the escape attempt begins too close to the water's edge. At such close quarters, the cheetah's speed advantage is insufficient to turn the tide. The crocodile secures its prey, claiming victory and a high-energy meal. This outcome demonstrates that the crocodile's power lies in its ability to remain concealed, gauge the distance perfectly, and launch a precise ambush before its prey can unleash its speed. Across the vast African savannas, lions typically frequent areas with abundant prey and terrain favorable for hunting. They live in prides where females play a key role in the hunt, while males focus on defending the territory. However, when the pride attempts to cross a river, their unity faces a submerged threat. Danger strikes as the pride ventures deeper into the water. A crocodile lies low, observing the formation and spotting a cub lagging behind. It silently closes the distance before launching a sudden lunge. Although the adults immediately turn back, the water hampers the pride's ability to react effectively. In those decisive seconds, the crocodile secures the cub and emerges victorious. Unable to alter the outcome, the pride is forced to continue to the opposite bank. This confrontation demonstrates that neither the pride's majesty nor its strength can deter a crocodile once an ambush opportunity arises. In every encounter, the crocodile demonstrates that its strength lies in its ability to remain concealed, exercise patience, and choose the precise moment to launch an ambush. However, the outcome is not always the same, as factors such as strength, terrain, and the prey's capacity to resist can alter the situation. In the wild, survival depends on how effectively each species utilizes its advantages at the right moment. Along the large rivers and freshwater lakes of East Africa, hippos congregate in groups in deep water and gentle banks, where they spend most of the day moisturizing and resting. The Nile and many surrounding areas have a high hippo density, with water as their central environment. Hippos control their surroundings and react quickly to any intrusion, so any unusual movement on the water's surface easily escalates into a confrontation. When a male lion swims through a narrow stretch of river, its speed and maneuverability are noticeably reduced. From below, a large hippo spots the intruder and immediately accelerates to close in. It doesn't need to stalk for long, but lunges directly in the lion's direction, forcing the swimming animal to change course and increase its pace to avoid a direct collision. In a matter of seconds, the hippo closes in from behind and maintains constant pressure, rendering the lion completely passive. The lion accelerated and swam diagonally toward the shore, escaping close enough to be caught, unable to maintain a safe distance underwater. The lion was forced to retreat ashore, ending the encounter in defeat, while the hippo held the area and ceased the pursuit. In the African savannas, warthogs inhabit areas of low grass interspersed with sparse bushes, allowing them to observe predators from a distance and maintain clear escape routes. These open spaces enable warthogs to move freely when in danger. This environment allows them to easily find food and maintain quick reflexes, so any unusual movement can trigger an immediate escape reflex, leading to direct confrontations. Near a trail through the low grass, two female lions silently separate from the group and move around to block the path of a lone warthog. They keep their bodies close to the ground and slow down to avoid detection. When the distance is close enough, both suddenly accelerate and simultaneously charge, creating direct pressure that forces the warthog to react within a few short seconds, pushing the situation into a chase. Upon closing in, Warthog didn't change direction rapidly but accelerated in a straight line, maintaining a steady pace and exploiting the open space ahead. Lion tried to close the gap but couldn't maintain speed in such a short distance. Within seconds, Warthog was out of control, forcing Lion to slow down and end the pursuit without achieving its objective, and instead focus on closing the situation. This situation demonstrates that with a quick enough reaction and stable movement, Warthog can escape danger even when ambushed. Lion failed to maintain pressure and lost control of the distance. So the hunt ended quickly when the prey left the pursuit range and there was no chance of a second approach. Amidst the vast savanna grasslands, buffaloes move in herds through open spaces near rivers and lakes, where the green grass helps sustain their energy in the prolonged heat. One male subtly separates from the group, standing near the edge of the sparse forest to observe and maintain a safe distance. With their habit of living in herds of several dozen to hundreds of individuals, standing alone makes them more alert and ready to react upon detecting unusual movement. In the low bushes, a thin female lion hides and watches her target, keeping her body close to the ground and advancing slowly downwind before accelerating at close range. This is a familiar approach to surprise and disrupt the prey's reaction rhythm. However, buffaloes recognized the signs early on and did not retreat, but instead actively approached to maintain control of the distance. As the lion lunged, buffaloes immediately turned sideways and shifted their weight forward, their curved horns springing up to create a counterforce that caused the lion to lose balance and veer off course. Buffalo continued to advance and maintain pressure, forcing Lion to retreat in disarray. The confrontation ended quickly when Lion could no longer maintain his offensive rhythm and had to withdraw. The events that just unfolded demonstrate that many encounters in nature are short-lived and end when one side loses control of the situation. In this case, Lion lacked stamina and couldn't maintain his offensive rhythm, while Buffalo kept his distance and controlled his movement. This caused Lion to lose his advantage and forced him to retreat, ending the confrontation decisively. On the high rocky slopes of Ethiopia and the rugged Savannah regions, baboons choose to sleep and observe from high vantage points, allowing them to detect danger early and retreat quickly when necessary. Areas with cliffs and high outcrops provide clear escape routes. With their habit of living in large herds and maintaining constant vigilance, any unusual movement below is promptly detected, leading to a collective response. As the herd crosses an open path, a leopard hidden in the low bushes begins to approach, waiting for the right moment. It lowers its body, keeping the wind at its side, and suddenly lunges at a young individual. As soon as it gets close, a nearby female turns to shield, and within seconds, males from behind immediately advance, pushing the situation into a direct confrontation. The leopard tries to hold its target but quickly loses its rhythm as multiple baboons simultaneously close in, biting and striking to push it back. The lead animal advanced to control the distance, forcing the leopard to retreat to avoid risk. Unable to maintain its offensive, the leopard was forced to withdraw and ended the hunt in defeat, while the baboon pack maintained its formation and continued moving through the area. In the grasslands of East and South Africa, wildebeest migrate in large herds through Tanzania and Kenya, where rains determine their path in search of fresh grass and water sources. They choose areas of low grass to observe predators and maintain a safe distance. With their ability to run long distances continuously during migration, wildebeest maintain a steady rhythm of movement. So when the herd approaches shallow riverbeds, the risk of attack increases, easily leading to confrontations. At a shallow riverbed, as the herd crosses, a young lion hides in the low bushes, waiting for the opportune moment to approach. It keeps its body close to the ground, then suddenly lunges out while the wildebeest is focused on crossing the water. This is when the prey is most likely to lose control. However, the wildebeest doesn't run away. It turns around and heads straight towards the lion, forcing the predator to react under unfavorable conditions. As lion approached, wildebeest surged forward and rammed forcefully with its horns, creating a powerful impact that sent lion flying out of the line of attack. Lion lost its rhythm immediately after the collision and retreated, unable to maintain its close-range position. Wildebeest kept its distance, quickly rejoined the formation, and continued its movement, forcing lion to retreat and ending the confrontation quickly. In the dry savanna regions that stretch across Africa and parts of the Middle East, honey badgers live in areas with soft soil, low bushes, and ample space to dig burrows for shelter. These bush-covered grasslands provide easy access to food sources such as beehives, rats, and small reptiles. This environment allows honey badgers to maintain agile movement and clear escape routes. So when danger arises, their reactions are usually swift. Near a low bush, a leopard spots a slow-moving honey badger juvenile and immediately targets it. It lowers its body and approaches from behind before suddenly lunging to finish the hunt. However, just as the leopard gets close, an adult honey badger emerges from the side and charges directly at the predator, forcing a direct confrontation. As the leopard attempted to maintain its attacking position, the adult honey badger surged forward and counterattacked relentlessly with biting force and close-range movements. The leopard lost its rhythm and had to retreat to avoid injury. Unable to maintain its advantage, the leopard was forced to withdraw and ended the hunt in defeat, while the honey badger held its position and protected its young, bringing the confrontation to a short end. In savanna, woodland, and semi-desert regions, porcupines are found in areas with low bushes, rocky crevices, and burrows for daytime shelter. Crested porcupines typically choose soft ground for burrowing and move around at night. In this environment, they maintain a safe distance and rely on their spine-like defenses. So any unusual movement at close range usually elicits an immediate reaction. In an open clearing near the bushes, two young leopards spotted a pair of porcupines and approached from two directions. One individual lowered its body and lunged directly when close enough, aiming for a quick finish. Upon closing in, the porcupine turned and raised its spines, forcing a close-range collision. When the leopard struck, the porcupine's sharp spines bounced out in the direction of the approach, impaling the leopard in the face and forcing it to retreat, unable to maintain its offensive. Leopard was forced to retreat and ended the hunt in failure, while porcupine left the safe zone, demonstrating how inexperience can cost a predator dearly in its first approach. In open areas where visibility extends to the horizon, these predators don't rely on brute force, but attack with coordinated and relentless pressure. Every movement of the prey is tracked, forced to change direction, and gradually loses its reaction rhythm. When the chase begins, the distance doesn't disappear immediately, but is eroded over time, and the outcome is decided before the prey can regain the initiative. African wild dogs live primarily in savanna grasslands, sparse shrublands, and large open forests in East and South Africa. They prefer open terrain where they can observe prey from a distance and organize prolonged chases. Packs often move across vast territories in search of food, water, and to avoid competition from lions or hyenas. Despite their relatively small size, wild dogs are among Africa's most effective hunters thanks to their ability to work together in packs. They possess exceptional stamina, maintaining high speeds for extended periods to exhaust their prey. When hunting, the entire pack constantly changes positions, surrounding and cutting off the target's escape route. Discipline, teamwork, and strategy are the most powerful weapons of this predatory species. Along the savannas and open woodlands of Africa, leopards live in environments with abundant large trees that provide ample climbing and hiding places. Their ability to drag prey to high altitudes helps them avoid having their food stolen, and also gives them a distinct advantage when facing other predators on the ground, thus requiring caution from any approaching animal. At the edge of the forest, a pack of wild dogs spotted a leopard moving alone and quickly dispersed. Instead of directly approaching, they veered off course, maintaining distance and increasing pressure from multiple directions. As its movement became unstable, short approaches ensued, constantly disrupting its turning trajectory. As tension escalated, the leopard tried to hold its position but quickly lost ground to the relentless pursuit of the pack. Cornered, it was forced to climb a tree to escape. Below, the pack continued its coordinated encirclement, demonstrating the strength of a well-coordinated group. When foraging close to the ground in the open sub-Saharan forests, warthog always keep their heads low, but observe a wide area, using bushes for cover. Their curved tusks and quick head-turning reflexes are their primary defenses, and moving in open spaces forces them to constantly adjust their direction when approached. At the edge of the grassland, the pack of wild dogs maintained a steady rhythm, observing the warthog's reaction step by step. Instead of charging straight, they constantly changed direction to disrupt it. As soon as the prey's turning speed slowed, short, cyclical approaches occurred, forcing the warthog into a defensive position. Immediately, the warthog turned to counterattack in an attempt to maintain distance, but gradually lost ground to the pack's relentless pursuit. As space narrowed and strength diminished, control of the confrontation shifted to the pursuer, thanks to their coordination and ability to maintain pressure over time. Endurance is what allows oryx to survive in the harsh desert and semi-desert regions where many other species cannot thrive. They move across the hot sand with their long horns as a defensive weapon. Therefore, any approach quickly turns into a tense confrontation. On the open sand, the pack of wild dogs didn't charge directly but kept their distance, constantly monitoring the oryx's reaction from every angle. They shifted positions and maneuvered continuously to force it to turn defensively. When its movement slowed, short, close-range attacks occurred, putting the prey on the defensive. Under the heat and the long run, the oryx's stamina gradually diminished. It turned to fight back but could no longer maintain its safety. When its reflexes clearly deteriorated, the subdued animal was subdued, and the hunter gained the upper hand. In this harsh environment, maintaining pressure over time was the decisive factor. Along the transitional zone between savanna and open woodland in East and Southern Africa, impalas are abundant in Kenya, Mozambique, and South Africa. They prefer acacia-covered areas for foraging in the mornings, and then move to open pastures in the evenings. Thus, leaving the shade of trees creates brief, easily tracked moments. On the savanna, a pack of wild dogs spreads out, maintaining distance and reading the target's reaction. Instead of charging straight ahead, they regulate their pace, gradually forcing their movement toward the water's edge. When enough pressure has built up, the entire pack accelerates simultaneously, blocking escape routes and forcing the prey to flee in a confined space. When cornered at the river's edge, the impala hesitates before plunging into the water to widen the distance. At this point, the pack opens an arc. Some enter the water to apply pressure, while the rest block on either side. When the prey's strength wanes, a hold is formed, the combined force causing the target to lose control and fall from its advantageous position. With this hunting style, the difference lies in the coordination and endurance of the entire pack. Once the pace of movement is worn down and escape routes close, the outcome is sealed where the prey has no way to retreat. Amidst the vast, dry grasslands near water sources, wild buffalo move in large herds, relying on strength and solidarity for self-defense. Adult individuals form an outer shield, making direct approach nearly impossible for any single predator. Following the edge of the herd, the pack of wild dogs maintained their distance and observed the buffaloes. Instead of charging in immediately, they constantly changed direction to disrupt the herd, forcing them to turn defensively. When a young buffalo faltered, a coordinated attack ensued, pulling the target away from the protective formation. Immediately afterward, the herd became disordered as individuals returned to provide support but failed to maintain formation. The pack of dogs took turns chasing, wearing down the buffalo's strength when the distance could no longer be maintained. A subduing maneuver occurred, and the young buffalo collapsed, confirming that the collective strategy had determined the outcome. In the African savannas, lions thrive in vast spaces with excellent eyesight and abundant prey. A single individual is dangerous enough, but when in a pride, their ability to coordinate and dominate territory makes them formidable opponents. Amidst the low grass, the pack of wild dogs didn't retreat upon encountering the lion. Instead, they dispersed in multiple directions, maintaining distance and observing its reaction. Instead of directly closing in, they moved in an arc, applying pressure from various angles. At the moment, their opponent lost momentum. Short, quick approaches were launched, forcing the lion's direction of movement to constantly change. When put at a disadvantage, the lion snarled and tried to find an escape route, but couldn't maintain the advantage under prolonged pressure. The pack of dogs alternated in advancing and retreating, narrowing the area of operation. When options were limited, the lion was forced to leave the area to avoid further risk. In this type of encounter, the difference doesn't come from individual strength, but from the ability to sustain pressure over time. When space is fragmented and reactions are skewed, the tide quickly turns in favor of the side controlling the pace. In the Serengeti, wildebeest migrate seasonally during the monsoon season, forming massive migration streams across the open steppes. They prefer short grasses and wide visibility for detecting danger, avoiding dense forests because they hinder acceleration. Therefore, when their density is high, even a small deviation is enough to create gaps in the protective structure. On the grassland, along the edge of the herd, a pack of wild dogs deploys along a long axis, maintaining a steady rhythm to read the direction of the entire antelope herd's turn. They don't approach directly, but constantly cut corners, forcing the target group to change direction. When a young animal breaks away, the pack accelerates, attacking its weak point and dragging it out of the protective circle. The young animal left behind forces the herd to disperse to protect it. The predators take advantage of this vulnerability, relentlessly pursuing and gradually exhausting the prey. When the connection is broken and an opportunity arises, the advantage shifts to the side that is actively controlling the situation. In nature, lion attacks don't begin with a roar, but with a prolonged silence that's almost invisible. On the grasslands, at the edge of the forest, or near the water's edge, a small movement can instantly turn into a sudden close-range attack, where speed explodes and space is empty before the opponent can react. It is in those brief moments that instinct, timing, and spatial control determine the entire outcome of the confrontation. Lions are animals that live primarily in the vast grasslands and savannas of Africa. They often congregate near water sources and many herbivores to facilitate hunting. Unlike most other big cats, lions live in prides. Their open habitat allows them to easily observe, move, and defend their territory. Lions possess highly developed hunting instincts. They often coordinate with each other to approach prey stealthily before attacking. Female lions handle most of the hunting, while male lions play a role in protecting the pride and territory, thanks to their strength, agility, and teamwork abilities. Lions are one of the most formidable predators in nature. Spanning a wide variety of African terrains, hyenas primarily inhabit the vast savannas of Africa, such as the Serengeti and Masai Mara. They are also found in semi-arid areas, forest edges, and near rivers and lakes, where antelopes, zebras, and small mammals are abundant. This environment allows them to observe, move nimbly, and hunt effectively in packs. At the edge of the grassland, the lion, hidden in the low bushes, remained silent and observed. When it saw a hyena slow down and stray from the group, it immediately changed direction with the wind, closing the distance before accelerating rapidly, creating a swift approach that caused the entire pack to scatter in panic. Once the pack was broken up, with one hyena unable to turn back, the lion maintained its momentum and approached decisively. The struggle was brief, and the advantage quickly shifted to the lion. The outcome decided at the point of impact by weight and position. The confrontation ended, revealing a clear weakness in the disrupted coordination. The pack's rhythm was no longer synchronized. Their ability to support each other diminished, and within seconds, the advantage shifted to the one controlling the pace. In the sparse forests and scrublands of sub-Saharan Africa, African wild dogs constantly move across vast territories, potentially up to 500 to 1,000 kilometers, to maintain pack hunting operations. Their close coordination helps them survive. But prolonged movement can also cause an individual to slow down and become separated from the group. At the edge of the forest, the lone lion silently stalked the stray wild dog, positioning itself strategically before suddenly surging forward in a short burst, cornering its target in a frantic chase, relentlessly pressuring the wild dog and causing it to lose its balance and disorientation. The distance was eliminated. The direct and decisive approach prevented the target from rejoining the pack, and it was quickly subdued at the point of impact. The pack of wild dogs turned back but lacked the strength to intervene, and the confrontation ended when the predator retreated. Once the overall movement rhythm is disrupted, coordination becomes ineffective, and in such situations, the advantage will shift towards the side that controls the distance and maintains pressure at the right moment. On the vast grasslands of East Africa, such as the Serengeti, cheetahs live in savanna and semi-desert environments, where there are few tall trees to maintain visibility and low bushes for cover. An adult weighing around 90 to 140 pounds often climbs termite mounds to observe from a distance, then chooses the moment to sprint at speeds of 70 miles per hour. This open space shapes their hunting and survival methods. The sunlight streamed across the golden savanna. A lion, unexpectedly spotting a cheetah's movement at close range, lowered its body, countered the wind, and instantly accelerated, closing in quickly and forcing the cheetah to react abruptly and change direction to escape. But the distance was too close to gain an advantage. Before the cheetah could fully utilize its speed, the lion maintained its momentum and closed in decisively. The collision occurred within a few breaths, and the advantage quickly shifted to the lion. The outcome was decided by weight and position, not speed. In nature, distance and timing determine everything. A cheetah needs space to run, while a lion only needs to be close enough to finish it off. And when conditions change, the outcome changes too. Not because one is stronger, but because one is in the right place at the right time. In the murky rivers and swamps of Africa, Nile crocodiles survive by hiding in the mud and warm water, where they can lie motionless for hours, waiting for the right moment, concentrating densely in areas like Lake Victoria. And it is this environment that helps them maintain their advantage underwater. But that advantage is no longer absolute. At that moment, the threat emerged. Along the riverbank, a lion had been observing the crocodile feeding, maintaining a safe distance before suddenly lunging forward, attempting to seize the food before its opponent could react, drawing the struggle away from the water. On dry land, the constant pressure prevented the crocodile from holding its position, forcing it to retreat toward the water. After a brief struggle, retreat became its only option, leaving the food under the lion's control. If the environment changes, so does the advantage. The ability to control space determines the outcome, and in such situations, the side maintaining a favorable position will gain the upper hand at the decisive moment. Unlike many big cats, leopards are widely distributed across Africa, from savannas and woodlands to rocky areas and even near villages, where they can hunt silently with little risk of detection. An adult is agile and patient, able to track a target for minutes before acting. And this adaptation helps them survive, but also means they frequently face larger predators. And this time, that danger appeared. A lion emerged from the distance on the savannah, lowering its center of gravity and advancing steadily. Upon noticing the leopard was alert but not yet out of position, it suddenly accelerated, leaping out of the grass and closing the distance. The moment the space narrowed, the initial impact caused the leopard to lose its balance. It tried to turn and escape, but the lion maintained constant pressure and quickly gained the upper hand. The outcome was decided in favor of the lion when its agility was no longer enough to create distance. The outcome quickly became clear. The leopard needed space to control the situation, while the lion maintained constant pressure. Once the pace was controlled, the advantage shifted to the one who maintained the initiative. In arid lands where daytime temperatures can exceed 45 degrees Celsius, oryx lives on sandy and rocky terrain with very few large trees and virtually no water source. An adult can survive without drinking directly by absorbing moisture from plants and minimizing loss. And this ability helps it adapt to the harsh environment. That balance didn't last long. The lion tracked the oryx from a distance and chose the opportune moment to approach. It took advantage of the low terrain and then suddenly accelerated, forcing its opponent into a short chase on dry ground, where every step was met with pressure and offered no opportunity to change direction. In an instant, the attack was direct and precise. The oryx had no time to create distance and lost control of its movement. The outcome was predetermined, demonstrating that when the pace is controlled, the initial advantage is no longer enough to turn the tide. In nature, wolf attacks rarely begin with noise, but with silence, where every glance and movement has a clear purpose. The pack observes, selects its target, and waits until the distance is close enough, then suddenly accelerates, cornering and locking onto the prey in a precise sequence of actions. It is at this moment that instinct and strategy converge to decide the outcome in seconds. In the icy wilderness, where temperatures plummet below freezing, wolves survive as masters of adaptation. From coniferous forests to the Arctic tundra, they move silently through snow and darkness. Their thick fur protects against the harsh cold, and their keen sense of smell helps them track life. In this world, wolves not just survive, they master it. The true strength of a wolf lies not in its muscles, but in its unity. When the pack moves as a unified force, they become the perfect hunting force. With endurance and precise tactics, wolves can chase prey for miles, waiting for the right moment to strike. In nature, it is patience and coordination that make them formidable predators. On the vast, snow-covered plains, bison move in herds with a clear survival instinct. They don't hunt, but rely on size and strength for defense. Adults, weighing thousands of pounds, can charge quickly and butt powerfully, while the young are always kept in the center. This structure creates a natural defense, but still leaves weaknesses, creating gaps that can be exploited. It is these gaps that allow the wolf pack to begin their hunt. Instead of charging in immediately, they split up in various directions, silently observing and gradually building pressure, causing a young animal to separate from the group. When the opportunity arises, the entire pack suddenly accelerates, relentlessly pressing through the thick snow to slow the prey's escape. Gradually losing strength after the long journey, the young animal cannot maintain its distance from the pack. The wolves continue to pursue until they gain control of the situation and seize the prey. In this harsh environment, the one who seizes the right moment always holds the ultimate advantage. In the vast Arctic tundra, caribou move in large herds, their survival instincts relying on migration. Each year, they can travel thousands of miles to avoid harsh weather, find food sources, and reduce pressure from predators. They remember their seasonal routes almost precisely. And this long journey both sustains their lives and silently depletes their physical strength. The long journey led the wolf pack to adopt a different approach. Instead of attacking immediately, they followed from a distance, maintaining a steady pace to observe, then suddenly accelerating when an individual began to slow down, constantly forcing changes of direction on the hard snow, causing the prey to gradually lose control of its running rhythm. Losing its rhythm after a long period of movement, the caribou fell behind and became isolated. The wolf pack quickly pressed to control the situation and seize the prey. And in this condition, the side that maintained stamina and continuous pressure would have the power to end the hunt. Speed and reflexes are what help Arctic hares survive in the harsh, snowy environment. They can reach speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, change direction constantly in short distances. Their strong hind legs allow for powerful jumps. Their wide feet provide a firm grip on the snow, and this agility allows them to always escape the direct path of predators, forcing the opponent to change their approach. Taking advantage of this very weakness, the wolves didn't pursue directly, but instead employed a tactic of cutting the rabbit's path, accelerating in short bursts, anticipating its movements, and positioning themselves to block its escape route, forcing the rabbit to constantly change direction, causing its running rhythm to become increasingly erratic and the distance to gradually narrow. When the rabbit's movement rhythm was no longer stable, it lost its advantage, and the wolves quickly closed in and took control of the situation to end the hunt. In this confrontation, just one moment of losing control was enough to determine the outcome. The ability to choose its habitat helps wild boars survive effectively in the wild. They are often found in dense forests, low bushes, and areas near water sources, where there is sufficient food, hiding places, and soft soil for digging. The mud also helps mask their scent and reduce the risk of detection, creating a space that is both discreet and flexible, maintaining their initial advantage of safety. But this advantage forced the wolf pack to change their approach. They moved around the area, observing the exit and patiently waiting for the prey to leave its hiding place. Then suddenly ambushed the wild boar when it appeared, creating pressure from multiple directions and forcing it to move into an open area, weakening its natural defenses. With its defenses gone, the wild boar, despite its fierce resistance, gradually lost strength against the continuous coordinated attack. The wolf pack controlled the situation and ended the hunt. And in this confrontation, leaving its safe place meant losing everything. In temperate forests and vast coniferous woodlands, extending into open grasslands and concentrated around rivers, streams, and lakes. Grizzly bears usually live solitary lives, but still follow a clear order. Larger and stronger bears occupy advantageous positions such as waterfalls or shallow water areas, while smaller ones stand further away, waiting for the rest. Conflict rarely occurs because they can simply observe each other's positions, and this stability makes the environment seem unchanging. The tranquility was quickly shattered when, from the edge of the forest, a pack of wolves emerged, observing the bear as it ate. They didn't advance directly, but spread out, maintaining distance, constantly changing direction to scout the area, then gradually closing in, forcing the bear to turn and watch. Under this pressure, the bear quickly assessed the situation. It paused for a few seconds before choosing to retreat from the area, not because it was weak, but because the risk wasn't worth it. The wolves immediately moved in to seize the food source, and this outcome demonstrates that in a harsh environment, making the right decision at the right time is more important than individual strength. On the cold, snow-covered hillsides, the elk displays superior strength through its size and tenacity. Adult males weigh between 300 and 500 kilograms, stand over 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder, and possess muscles concentrated in their neck and shoulders to support their large antlers. They can accelerate quickly over short distances and become extremely aggressive during the breeding season, thus maintaining a high state of alert. From that position, the wolf pack doesn't attack directly but observes from above, lowering their bodies, moving slowly to maintain distance, then gradually closing the gap when they see a young animal struggling to move on the snow. And at the right moment, the entire pack accelerates from multiple directions, escalating the chase to a climax. When cornered and falling behind, the young animal loses its distance, and the wolf pack pursues closely until they control the situation and claim the prey. In this scenario, the one who seizes the right moment always determines the outcome. Musk oxen move in packs with exceptional defensive capabilities. Adults weigh between 200 and 400 kilograms, have a low, sturdy build with a stable center of gravity, and thick neck and shoulder muscles that help withstand strong impacts. When threatened, the entire pack immediately forms a circle with their horns pointing outwards, transforming themselves into an almost impenetrable barrier, creating a very difficult-to-break defense. That defensive posture forced the wolf pack to change their approach. Instead of charging in, they moved around at a safe distance, maintaining constant pressure and waiting for a small misstep. Then, They suddenly pressed forward when a muskox lost its position, causing the protective circle to shift and creating a brief gap. From that short gap, the wolf pack immediately accelerated, focused on the separated target, took control of the situation, and seized the prey. In this confrontation, it wasn't absolute strength, but a small deviation in formation that determined the outcome. In every moment of the hunt, the crocodile demonstrates a distinct advantage through its ability to remain concealed, exercise patience, and launch a strike at the precise moment. However, the strength of the prey, the terrain, or defensive reactions can still alter the outcome. Each hunt, therefore, serves as a test of instinct and adaptability. In the wild, the dominant force is the one that knows how to unleash its power at the right time.